Welcome back to your challenge. Again, alignment is one of the many pieces of the handstand puzzle, and in the way we have been approaching handstands and simplifying it through a challenge, it is the second phase of your handstand. The first one being the kick up and the third one being balance. Between the different homeworks we just did chest to the wall, you may have noticed how hard it actually is to put your body in the desired position when you are chest to the wall compared to navigating the space and your body awareness when you are back to the wall. Of course, chest to the wall is much harder than back to the wall in many regards. Your hands may feel more tired for that matter because it feels that you have more weight on your hands. And that's due to the fact that you're closer to the alignment that you will have to deal with freestanding than you would be back to the wall. When we are kicking up against the wall, if this is my feet or my foot and those are my hands, we tend to lean a lot against that wall. So some of the weight is being taken by our feet against the wall. Versus if I was to stand there, so those are my hands, all the weight is on my hands. So I pour a bit of the weight out of my hands into the feet or the foot when I'm back to the wall. But when I'm chest to the wall, whatever is against the wall tends to be resting a bit less lightly on the wall, a bit less heavily on the wall. And so your hands take more weight, and so it's a bit more tiring. But even more so, as we will cover later down the challenge, later down the line, there is the element of fear. We are afraid of falling. And so what you may have noticed is the following. When you are trying to go into your desired position, holding it for as long as you wanted, or as still as you wanted, proved to be quite difficult. If you're somebody who works on the split legs, extending one leg away from the wall may have resulted in you leaning away from that leg and reaching for the safety of the wall without even realizing it. When it was about bringing both feet together, this is probably one of the safest handstand, chest to the wall, at least in the way it's being perceived, because you can still be quite heavy with your feet against the wall and feel that you are straight. And one of the hardest forms to work on is the one where we shoot the pelvis out. And again, I invite you to look at your footage and figure out if you are indeed moving away from the wall rather than pouring some weight more onto your feet or your foot against it. And if you are preserving the first stack, one of the first things that goes out of the window without us noticing it is the first stack, which we have seen last week is absolutely essential for any handstand to be held. Remember what we said in the previous videos. The most important thing that you are after, chest to the wall, is becoming light against the wall. And I'm sure that in your attempt at reaching a specific alignment, including the one that seems to be working the best for you, you didn't pay so much attention to how light or heavy your feet or your foot became against the wall, when at the end of the day, it should be about only one thing, and that's to make your feet or your foot light. The supports leaning on the wall lighter and lighter. Why is that, you may ask? Well, we do want to fade away our use of the wall. And the only way we can do that is by learning to rely on it less and less. And so if you stay heavy in every time you practice with the wall, this will become a crutch you won't be able to walk without. Another way of saying this is, whichever alignment you end up preferring, you want in the next few weeks, in the next few months, to be able to take off the wall from it. So if you have a small V, you want to be able to have the body awareness, the balancing skills, and the fear management skills required to take off here without breaking a sweat. If you are in a wide V shape, exact same idea. If you are in the butt out shape, exact same idea. If you are in a fit together shape, exact same. Now, of course, this doesn't happen in one day, and there's quite a few progressions and a few drills that will take us from point A, which is being against the wall, to point B, which is being able to float longer and longer off the wall. And that's, again, something we cover in depth in the Rocket course. But right now, your mission is really to bring your attention on your supports against the wall. As you are going into what you think your alignment is, Are your supports, or is your support becoming lighter and lighter? If not, what is happening? I can give you a hint. Your shoulders are probably leaning back towards the wall, or your pelvis is going back towards the wall. And that's just a subconscious mechanism to reach for the safety of the wall, because this is super scary. So it looks like this. If you are somebody who extends one leg, you'd usually bring that pelvis towards the wall, making this foot heavier. If you shoot the butt out, we tend to bring the shoulders back to the wall, which makes the feet heavier. In other words, as we try to bring something away from the wall for the sake of becoming lighter, something else, without us wanting, goes back against the wall and pretty much hijacks our attempt. And so my invitation for you for this homework is to try to become light against that wall and see what ends up happening when you don't succeed in doing so, or see how light your nervous system allows you to be until you feel that you really can't take it and you're going to fall, and hold it there. This is where the timer starts. Now, one important note, if you're practicing on your own, which most of you are, you do not want to surprise yourself with a fright. You do not want to overdo things. You want to take the steps very gradually towards your handstands. So it doesn't matter if you are not yet where you want to be. You're much better off going slowly and building up things slowly, and you are taking a step too far, fall out of a handstand, get a fright, and then take 2 steps backwards in your head.